Hey guys, I'm Shen Ou,
And I am Shen Chan.
and in this time of very difficult time for all of us, we just thought we wanted to sit down, have a meal, and just chit chat. You guys have some fun with it, and so we're going to just introduce you to some Singaporean dishes that you might not have heard of. A tourist trap food in Singapore. If you guys have heard about Singapore food, you hear a lot about chili crab and chicken rice and stuff like that. Those are really good.
Yeah.
Really good. But I can do better.
Show me.
A lot of people have not seen other things that are available in Singapore. Like, let's start with, okay, you guys have to bear with me because I do not remember which is which.
Why not show them the classic, the Nasi Lemak.
So we have chicken rice, which is basically chicken and rice, which is way more fantastic than it sounds. We also have what's called Nasi Lemak, which directly translates into oily rice.
Right, oily rice.
So you can tell that in this region of the world, we know how to name our dishes. But yeah, this is what oily rice looks like. So basically what you have is actually a rice that's cooked with coconut milk, alongside some lovely little condiments. This is actually egg over here, in case it's not recognizable. We've got some chicken wings, and we've got a quintessential part of Singaporean cuisine, which is some form of chili paste or chili sauce. So this is our nasi lemak over here. Then what
No, I'm
other
surprised you know
stuff?
your food so well because whenever I open, I just eat them. I don't even look at what they're made up of.
That's why I have to feed you.
Damn.
Oh yeah, okay. And this is what we call, you guys have probably heard of a spring roll. This is a local version, also known as a popiah or bao ping, which basically directly translates into wrapped biscuit or something like that. Lots of parts of the world, noodles and soup are celebrated, so we thought we'd show you guys that. Mix up number one. So bowl number one, maybe we should just show the sauce first and then like freak people out. So this is actually this wonderful appetizing brown thing here is going to match up with So mee rebus is the sauce is actually, I forgot which nuts, but it's actually nut based. So it's a traditionally Malay dish, but because we're in Singapore and it's multicultural, you can find this at almost every food center. This one I have a slightly better idea of what it is. Again, similar color, much thinner consistency to the soup. It comes with these rice vermicelli noodles. So this is a much lighter dish. I believe this has Thai origins. The name Mee Siam is actually spelled the way you would spell Siam, like the old Thai capital. So this one is sweet and sour and spicy, just like the flavors that Thailand loves. And last but not least, we have these rice vermicelli noodles with some seafood and a coconut and prawn-based broth. This is actually known as Laksa. This is actually one of the more, I would say, underrated. Like, it's popular, but for some reason people don't talk about it on food shows and whatnot. So if you come to Singapore and you're tired of all the things that the Michelin guide tells you to eat, go and hunt down some laksa and try it out. Oh, of course, on this hot day, we do have some beverages here. Now this, if you guys are familiar with Shen Chan, you'll probably be wondering like, what's his secret? It's actually right here. So I'm not going to tell you what it is. On the other hand, we have this yellow beverage here, which is actually called limau juice. Not elmau, but limau juice. Limau is the Malay word for lime. So technically this is lime juice, but because I'm Singaporean, I'll give it a fancy name. And this is actually probably the most boring one of all. It's water chestnut, but it's highly refreshing. I highly recommend it. That's why it's here. And last but not least, this is something that most of you have probably not seen before. This is called bandung. It's basically a rose-flavored syrup mixed with evaporated milk, which is a lot of words that I think, delicious. Please try it if you're here, aka the pink drink. I wonder why. Yeah, so that is our beverages, our food, and what? We're not gonna wait? Okay, I guess then we just dig in. Other things that you should try in Singapore. I think your favorite food is also pretty popular.
What do they call it? The bak kut teh.
The bak kut teh.
Pork ribs with man, I don't know my favorite dish, man. I just eat it.
So bak kut teh, I guess.
Pork ribs
Tea.
soup with tea, right?
It's
the
actually
tea is,
okay. It's actually, how do I put it? So it's a soup with pork ribs in it, and traditionally what they do is they pack the herbs for the soup into a little sachet, and they dump the thing into the whole pot, along with the pork ribs and the other ingredients, as if it was a tea bag. So hence they call it teh, even though teh, which is Hokkien for tea, even though there is no tea involved, because they are throwing in this tea bag of spices, it became bakut teh. Bakut, of course, is the word for pork rib.
And interestingly, there are two variations mainly in Singapore. The one that's herbal based, and one that's which is more popular in Singapore, a very strong pepper based.
Peppery based. Yeah. So there's the herbal one, there's the peppery one.
Sometimes we go to what they call hawker centers, kopitiam. You know, if we don't want fast food. So usually they're located everywhere in Singapore. Downstairs your home. They sell things like this that you see here, relatively cheap, and sometimes, and usually, I wouldn't say sometimes, more often than not, they taste better than restaurants. At least from my perspective. Not sure about yours.
Who's your S tier for hawker centers?
To me, one obviously stands out, and that is Amoy Food Street. Definitely S tier. It's right in the business district in Singapore. So many people, of course, during lunch hours, they will go there. But the quality of food is really good. Fish soup, I mean, they have very famous fish soup over there. If in case you don't know what fish soup is in Singapore, we actually you can choose either fried fish or sliced fish, and then they cook it in a very special soup. I think with milk. So it's a very popular option because it's healthier, and Singaporeans are, I guess, more health cautious. The other S tier I would say is Maxwell Food Center.
You're a city boy.
Yeah, I'm a city boy.
Yeah, Maxwell is also the home of the most famous hawker stall in Singapore, Tian Tian Hainanese Chicken Rice.
Which Gordon Ramsay actually tried to compete with.
And Anthony Bourdain highly acknowledged, highly recommended. My S tier, which is Golden Mile Food Center. Golden Mile Food Center, yes, those of you who I brought you there, you better remember what it is.
I was trying to remember where it is. Golden Mile. Yeah, now I do.
Okay, yeah, so Golden Mile Food Center, it's actually this, it's something that every male in Singapore actually knows, because for those of you who know, we actually do have compulsory military service, and there is this food center with a military surplus store on top of it, and that's Golden Mile Food Center. Golden Mile Food Center has got some of the more popular versions of things like chicken rice, Hokkien mee, claypot rice, and a lot of other things there. It's also the birthplace of one of the more unique dishes in Singapore called tulang merah. There are a lot of dishes in Singapore which people can say it's from another region, but tulang merah was born in Golden Mile Food Center.
What is?
It's basically mutton bones in this deep, rich red sauce. And
what is tulang in English? Anyone knows?
Tulang is basically like, I think Thigh bone or something like that.
Tulang.
Yeah,
tulang is a Malay word.
Yeah, of the goat.
So tulang merah is red something. Merah is red,
Tulang,
right?
yes, and merah is red. So the idea behind this dish is, of course, not to eat the bone. It's like this giant bone about this big with a hole about maybe 1 centimeter in diameter, and you can just literally suck out the marrow from it, which is pure mutton goodness. Yeah. And it's gotten so popular and to the point where they actually provide straws at this restaurant that doesn't sell drinks. Because people have a hard time sucking out the marrow, people have a hard time, getting into the good stuff.
In short,
and they provide straw.
They need to get good.
Yeah, they need to get good, but we're friendly in Singapore, so we're always going to take care of people even if you're scrubs.
Now you know why we produce so little good players, right? The spoon
All need
fed.
to use straw.
Yeah.
Straw.
Only use straw.
Straw fed. All these straw fed people.
Straw. Yeah. Because if I go to the States, right, and I eat Western food, right? It's always ordering from restaurants and whatnot. But in Singapore, right, you actually have hawker centers selling like steak and whatever you can imagine. You can buy whatever you can buy in the US from all these Western stores, right? You can find it in what we call the Western food hawker center stores in Singapore. And some of them are really, really good.
And it's a very different, it's basically a local, think about it this way, back in the like 60s, 50s, and you had a lot of foreigners coming into Singapore doing trade, and basically some entrepreneuring like young cooks were like, I want to cater to the foreigners coming in here. I see pictures of them eating food which is like just slab of meat, like some vegetables and some potato, and I'm gonna try and do that. And that evolved to fit, I would say, the local taste.
Hashtag Western food.
Yeah, hashtag Western food. So yeah, it just became Western food. And even the naming conventions, I think for most Westerners, you'll be quite surprised. Like, you're not gonna find like some rosemary and crusted pork chop. No, you're just going to find pork chop. It's just pork chop. They don't describe anything. It's just pork chop. It's just chicken chop. It's just...
No. Nowadays, I'm seeing like rosemary chicken chop. There has been, people are evolving.
Bocho?
And rosemary sauce and black pepper. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So it's evolving.
Maybe I'm outdated, but yeah. I shall. Okay, so we have breakfast, lunch, and dinner, like everyone else. Mm-hmm. And then we have this thing called supper.
I don't eat supper.
Dude, I know you think your wife is watching this. Stop lying. Yeah. But anyway, so supper it's usually eaten late at night, sometimes in the early mornings. It's kind of we are done with whatever we've been doing today. It's the end of our day, and we just want to do something together, so we're going to go eat. And then we just call that supper. So usually at the end of a work day, an end of some party or some gathering, as long as it ends after maybe 9 p.m, 10 p.m, people go for supper. I
guess it all boils down to whether you win the tournament or not. Yeah. If you win a tournament, right, I'll definitely eat something very grand, and I don't know, because I just feel great. I feel like a king for that period of time. But as you all know, I haven't won a tournament in a while.
I've been wondering what the hell you've been talking about all this time.
So I've been literally just eating anything I could find,
On the flip side to that, there has been a Chinese dish that was brought into Singapore maybe about 5-6 years ago. Mm-hmm. And now if you ask most of, especially the younger generation, like the 20 to 30 generation, they're going to tell you that's their favorite dish. It's called ma la. Ma stands for, it's Chinese for nam, la is Chinese for spicy. So because Singaporeans love our spicy food, we have kind of embraced this thing as our own, and like, it's not Singaporean. Like, if you go and eat mala, please make sure the guy serving it is from China. But if you ask an average Singaporean, that's what they're gonna say. So maybe in a few years' time, when you guys come over, I'll be like, hey guys, you gotta try this dish from China. It's called mala.
It's actually very, very nice. I'm a huge fan of mala. How you actually choose the food is they have a whole range of ingredients for you to choose from vegetables to mushrooms to potatoes to various kinds of meat.
Seafood.
Yeah, and once you pick your ingredient, then you have to choose what your spiciness level. So they have all the way from nothing to extremely spicy, and the food is cooked really fast. Like maybe within 5 minutes if there's no queue. 5 minutes, and they'll cook together with chilies.
Chilies, peppercorns.
Yes, oil, peanut, and peanut.
Some vegetables.
Yeah. So it's if you are the kind that like spicy stuff and you go for the extremely spicy, or I don't know.
It's an experience that will last you days.
Yes. Not on your chair, of course. And perhaps in the washroom nearby.
Yep. Yeah. Always come prepared when it comes to mala.
So if you guys are wondering where to find me during lunch hours, you can always look at Maxwell Food Centre or Amoy Food Centre, or follow me on Twitter to find out more food stuff at Shen Chan SG.
And of course, some of you have already been with me to Golden Mile Food Centre, but yeah, you guys can find me there or at Shen Ou SG on Twitter.